Hello and welcome to the Acre Ranch, where the birds love to sing and it's always green. My name is Jody and today is Sunday, May 17th, 2026. It's a very warm day here. I think it's close to 90 degrees and it's time to do an update on the garden. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to flip around and see what's going on over here. So this is bed number 2. You can see I've got some broccoli rabe right here growing really well. It's actually blossoming, but maybe if it was milder time of year, it wouldn't be blossoming. But actually, the blossoms taste yummy. I've been cutting it off, eating the leaves. The leaves are a bit spicy, so it's looking good. I have some over here, some cabbage. You can see the cabbage is doing well. So it's starting to form heads. By the way, there's this white moth that loves to come and eat the broccoli rabe. I learned that because it is one that likes to munch on broccoli and cauliflower. So I learned to have the netting, and it'll kind of fly around and like, I can't get in. Why can't I get in? It's flitting around everywhere. Anyway. And there's more broccoli rabe right here. And then I'm going to go to the other side of the bed. We've got some really, really great crop of radishes growing over here. You can see them all. Lots of great radishes. And I planted beets over here. And I'm going, what's weeds? What is weeds? What's beets? I think I'm actually going to start some from seed. That may sound funny, but inside I'm going to be doing that just to see. And then over here, I planted a lot of carrots. I need to do some more. We got just a few. Like here, where's my finger trying to see? There we go. Got some little carrots growing. Okay, over here, do this slowly. I'm gonna go to bed number 3, which, by the way, oh yeah, the garlic is not in this bed. Anyway, so getting myself confused. Here is the garlic. It's not gonna be ready for, I'm not sure, maybe another month or so. And then we got some nasturtiums, yay! My mom used to plant nasturtiums when I was growing up. And then I didn't realize the whole thing was edible, but I remember I used to bite off the end, the part that sticks out the back where the nectar is, and I would eat it. I would suck the nectar out, I should say. But now, hey, I can pick them and eat them too. I know they're good for the bugs, so I know they're good bug catchers is what I've heard. And then over here, you can see we have more cabbage, 2 more cabbage plants I didn't have room for in the other bed. And I do need to cover these, something's eating it. And then I have more garlic. And then you can see over there, there's a nasturtium. I've got 2 nasturtiums in this bed. Anyway, so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to flip this around again. Got lots of sun. I'm going to be putting potassium in beds 2 and 3. They need some more. I'm actually going to be putting sweet potatoes in bed number 3 to grow slips. I've never done this before, so I'm praying this will work well because I used to order them, but the extension agent Beth said, just actually put the sweet potatoes physically in the bed that you're going to grow them. And then, when the slips come, obviously you dig up those potatoes and take the slips off, cut them off and plant them. Like, I hope that works. And I'm going to put them in bed number 3 and also in my back plot at the backyard over there. So anyway, yeah, I think that's it for now. So I'm going to be putting the potassium in here soon. Those plant stakes in the raised bed are showing where the sweet potatoes are, so I decided to mark either end of them. Hopefully they'll grow slips well. And then here is the bucket. I have 4 left. I think I'm only going to plant 6 total, so I will have 1 of those I will eat. I will do another video of me planting on the other end. So here is a big potato. On the other end I'm planting now. So you see my hand, you can see it's a pretty big guy. So I asked our extension agent, is there anything special I need to do when I plant these? She said, no, put them in the ground, cover them over maybe like about an inch. And then one other thing I didn't mention was that, she mentioned that it's best to wait until the temperatures even are no lower than 50 degrees. So once Friday, May, what was that? That would have been the 15th was, I think, 49 degrees, 48 degrees. I said, okay, now, and like today, the high is 89. So we've had this big shift in weather anyway, so I decided I'm going to plant them. I could have done it Saturday, I got busy, but now it's planting time. I'm so glad. So I'm looking forward to seeing these sweet potatoes sprout and being able to put the slips in the ground and grow big batches of sweet potatoes. That's my prayer for this year. So I just realized that the last videos I did about the sweet potatoes, I did not have my microphone in, so the volume on this whole video may go up and down. Sorry about that, but you can see this is bed 1, so I planted right there, that's a cushaw squash, and that's the Lakota squash. And that's bed 1, so I'm done planting there for tonight. By the way, it is going on night. It was so hot today, I decided to just wait. It's almost sunset now. So then if I'm gonna crouch down here, I got some beans here. I'm going to be putting some, this is the ideal market pole beans that they're in. I've been soaking them today to get them ready to plant, and just soaking them in water. I like to do that with bigger seeds to get them ready. So those are going in along that way. And then in the middle is going to be rattlesnake beans. You can see that right there. And over here, I'm going to have Kentucky Wonder pole beans. So this will be the last planting for that, and plant them all along the trellis there. So hopefully we'll have a ton of beans this summer. Today is Monday, May 18th, 2026, and I'm sitting at the end of the new garden plot that I have been getting ready. Well, I put all the cardboard down, the pine straw down, I believe it was October. And what you see there is that's all the hose, the soaker hose right there, all that black that I fixed. I have it all set up in the 3 raised beds I have, and this was the excess. And I just threw it back here. I think I got that already, I think in March, I don't remember. I said I'll get to it, so I didn't need to, right? So it's just been sitting here. And then you can see a lot of, let me see if I can get my finger in here, a lot of wild violets, all of that green, the beautiful wild violets, which, yeah, I probably should have been pulling, but then again, I went to a Master Gardeners conference, and someone was saying, you don't, one of the speakers like, yeah, maybe we just leave some of the weeds. I thought, whatever. I'll leave them and I'll be pulling them. But what my goal tonight is to just get the soaker hose set up. I don't know I think if I cut it in 2 and maybe just wind it back around, because, rather than just have 2 lines, and I think I'll do it that way. Anyway, I will do that. Probably I will take another video when I'm done with this. I have some good news and some not so good news and some really good news. So as you can see, the soaker hose is in. If we go down, you'll see it's doing its thing. I wasn't sure, this back here is, I think, about 100 feet from the house, but got this big old long hose, and the pressure is just fine. But the other thing is the kit that I bought, I only had a certain number of male end caps. So I've got this female one that you can see, it's like a little fountain. It's a fountain of water coming out. So I think what I'm going to do, I had an issue with the way that one of the beds, the raised beds, I have to put a container underneath it because it's not the connector piece that came with the kit, and it sprays a bit. So I think I'm going to have to do that for these 2 guys here. So I got this one here, spraying a fountain. I'll just put a container underneath for when I water, so I don't soak one place. But yeah, but this is good though. And then here is the really, really good news. So, I cleaned this whole place up. If any of you watched my other videos, how this whole area here where I'm standing used to be all compost, and I moved all the compost over there. Thinking, okay, I had all these volunteers, squash and tomatoes, and so that'll be gone because I moved everything. But look at this. Ha 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 ha. I came out tonight and said, that is a squash plant. I am not pulling that one. And last year I had them mixed in with the compost. There was some rotting wood and all this, and it wasn't a good place for them. But this is going to be a really good place. So this is I got a head start. I've got a squash plant growing here, so that's pretty cool. All right, I'm inside right now, and sorry if the lighting's not good, but anyway, you may have noticed that the title of this video mentioned that the aliens are sprouting, and you may be thinking, what in the world does she mean that the aliens are sprouting? Well, several months ago, I did a video where I showed off my tepary beans, and I put all caps in the title that the aliens have landed. And I wasn't trying to use this clickbait, but I got a lot more videos on that, a lot more views on that video than any other video I've done. So I thought, well, let's have some fun and put in this video title that the aliens are sprouting. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera on here. We're going to go take a look at aliens right now. Here we go. We got some aliens sprouting. So these are my tepary beans. You can see them here. They're happy, happy, happy. I've also some nasturtiums here. I'm doing something that some people may think is kind of goofy, but I'm growing beets. I thought, let me get them started. I know they're a root crop, right? But I'm going to start them inside. And I got, let's see, this is Lakota squash. No, that's the Cushaw. This is Lakota. They haven't sprouted yet. They should be coming up soon. I got some celery and more beets. I see just one of the little tiny beets growing up here. And also over here, I went to an Earth Day celebration, and an Earth Day event, and I got 2 sunflowers. I wasn't going to take them, but the master gardener's there. I'm a master gardener. And she said, here, take a couple sunflowers. They had a booth there. I said, okay, I'm going to put them in my back plot today. That's going in the ground. And then also another place had marigolds, which is super cool because I know they're great for the bugs. So I've got 3 there, and that'll be good with that, and the nasturtiums will be super helpful. And then also I've got one more thing. So when I went to the extension office yesterday, we were planting the demonstration garden beds, and they had some extra. There was a college that was giving away some extra from their greenhouse after they had a big sale, and that's a cayenne pepper. So I'm going to be planting the cayenne pepper and the sunflowers today. I'm also going to be putting down the cardboard and pine straw for a pollinator bed out back. So anyway, I'm going to show you videos of that when I'm done with all those things. Okay, I'm back outside on this very muggy, warm day. It's supposed to rain in a couple hours. So I said, I need to get outside and get this pollinator garden plot set up. But before that, I have a confession to make. You know, I just showed you some of those seedlings growing inside. And in February, I went to a seed planting party, they called it, at the extension office. And we were there and using the seed starting mix, putting it in for our seeds. I remember Beth, the agent, saying, make sure you get seed starting mix, don't use potting soil. Anyway, so I had those turned out great. I planted some cabbage and broccoli rabe, and they're doing well. Anyway, so I wanted to get those separate beans I just showed you. I thought, hey, you know what, I got potting soil, this is a few weeks, so I can just use potting soil to start all these things. So nothing was really growing, and I thought, you know what, I was trying to take a shortcut, not go buy a bag of seed starting mix. So if you're starting seeds, get seed starting mix. It's got the peat moss in it, which is that it absorbs all that moisture, keeps it there, and it forms that structure that the roots need. So anyway, that's a lesson learned. Probably a lot of you are going, what in the world, why did she not do that in the first place? But anyway, that's just a lesson in case any of you need that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the video. I'm going to show you the plot I'm setting up. So this is encouragement to you. That's what I did in the the very back of my yard. In case you haven't seen that video, where I have that plot. I just put cardboard down, and you can see the bag over there. The garbage bag has pine straw. I'm going to lay it out. And so probably in October, again, this is toward the end, third week of May. In October, I will be planting some native plants here. I will start them inside, get some good healthy seedlings, and then put them in the ground so they have the overwinter, and then be rip roaring ready to go in the spring, growing new plants out here. So this is a 4x6 plot. I'm really excited about it. I'll show you a video once I get the pine straw on too. Okay, here's my cute little pollinator plot that I'll be planting in the fall, probably around October. So I'll start the seedlings in the house. It's really actually amazingly easy to get these garden plots set up, like I did the big one in the back. And I have something funny to share about this. I was letting my son know what I was doing, and he was going out for dinner. He said, oh, Mom, we don't want all those bees near the house. Put it in the very back of the yard. Then he came home from his errand, and he said, did you change your mind about where you put that? Then I had to think. I thought, wait a minute. I had to tell him something. So I said, Jacob, for 2 years in a row, I've planted sweet potatoes in our raised bed, one of our raised beds. And guess what really likes sweet potatoes? Bees. And I said, you know what really like the big blossoms on the squash I planted in the raised beds? Bees. So I taught him a little lesson that we can live in peace and harmony with the bees. If we don't bother them, we need them. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to have this pollinator garden here. And plus it might be, I don't know what all the plants I have. I grabbed a whole bunch, which I'll be putting in the fall. I might even buy some. I got some free from the Native and Heirloom Plant Fest. But anyway, I think it's going to be a mix of some butterfly plants or plants that butterflies like too. I'm not sure what all I have, but I'll dig them out when I get there ready to start the seedlings in the house when it gets to be that time. This will be the last segment for this video. You can see right in the center there, I've got a sunflower right there. I got another one over that way. The one I just showed you will be in the center of the sweet potatoes. And this one over here, you can see the white stake right there. That's going to be in the center of the tepary beans. So now it's time for an update on the pawpaw trees. Ta-da! These guys are really, really doing well this year. So let's look first at the tallest one, which is the tallest one I bought. It was the largest size. This is KSU Atwood, which is the one, if you've watched my other videos, you'll remember this one's supposed to produce a lot of fruit, about 150 per season when it's finally producing. Now, I want to show you how much new growth. You see right about there, from there up is new growth this year. It's like, wow, they're really taking off. And then I'll show you, and I love this about pawpaw trees. You know how they talk about puppies, their feet are too big for them? I just love the leaves on pawpaw trees. Like, man, this little tree has all these big, huge, massive leaves. I love it. And then we'll come over here. This is the KSU Chappelle. And then this one, it's really taken off too. These guys will only be taller than me this year. That'd be cool. So you can see right about there, you can see there's my finger. There's my finger, the new growth. Look at that. That's probably like a foot of new growth, if not more. And then we'll go over here. Now this one's funny. Florence White, she had her leaves out first and more than the other two. Kind of wonder what's going on with KSU Atwood, but probably at the winter season, I'll probably be trimming off a few of the smaller branches because they're really low to the ground. But anyway, look at her growth this year too. Look at my finger here. Look at her growth. That's just amazing. It's exciting to see all of the growth. Now this maybe was from this last year. I'm trying to remember how tall she was. So maybe it's more like here on her. Anyway, they're growing and they're all going to be taller than me because KSU Atwood has them. I think the other two, maybe they'll be taller than me too. Anyway, that's it for this episode of the Half Acre Ranch in the heat. We're expecting rain in about an hour or so. So, you know, my message today is get out there, get out in your yard, have fun. And one more quick thing. I haven't uploaded my video that was from the end of March. I'm uploading that in about a week. I used to in a few days, and then this one I'll probably be uploading in maybe another week or so. And in the last video, I asked people again, guess where I'm from? And so since this is probably going to be out in maybe a couple weeks, give it a gap, I'm going to let everybody know I live in Kentucky, where the birds love to sing, and it's always green. So that'll probably be in the beginning of my my videos from now on. I'll let everybody know here I'm in beautiful Kentucky. Anyway, have a blessed day. We'll see you in the next video.